I don't want to take too much time. So I guess, you did a review a little bit ago. And so just talking about that, um, what are some results that you've gotten from using InsuredMine?
Well, first of all, the product is, it can be overwhelming. I will say that it's a lot of technology in the program that will allow you to do a lot of different things for is tracking your customers, tracking your customer from A to Z.
Mhm.
Uh, and there are a lot of different ways to track that customer as it comes in as a prospect all the way to the sale date, and
Mhm.
even tracking them afterwards. Um, we use, I guess, by far the most is the pipeline. The pipeline is probably our far most used um, part of the program that we enjoy. It was I presented it to our agents. Said, "Hey, do you like this? Would you use this? What can we do to promote
Mhm.
the agents to use it?" So um, we've set goals in our agency. We're a relatively small agency, and so we've really never really we're growing, but we've never really set definite goals,
Mhm.
that we should, hope to to reach in a monthly business.
Mhm.
And we set some goals out there, and they started using the system. I've actually implemented um, a reward system based on those goals. Basically offer gift cards, and
Mhm.
whoever has the most production, if they go over my goal, especially if they
Mhm.
go over the goal, and we offer like a $250 gift card, for
Oh,
example.
wow. I'm
So
sure.
we do that. That has been a really good promotion.
Mhm.
Um, I have one person that is just really just they once they catch on,
There's
they're good. They're it's like a competitive, because
Mhm.
everybody, once you put in that you've won a client, it sends everybody an email in the agency, and when you get those emails coming through, everybody's high fiving everybody else, of course. So
Yeah, that
and
happens with me.
it becomes I won't say a friendly, competitive way of helping each other out.
Yeah, and like pushing them. Yeah.
And that we network amongst ourselves, helping each other, of
Mhm.
course. But by far, the pipeline has been I'd say, the most interactive part,
Mhm.
and we're in the process of getting the other stuff. We have used the we've sent out Valentine's Day
Mhm.
greetings to all of our customers. But there's far much more that we have got to get going, and I want to get going. It's just finding the time to do it, of course.
Yeah, it's a big system. It is a big system.
But yeah, that by far, as far as results are concerned, I'd say, last month as I had mentioned in one other meeting, that we by far had our best month.
Mhm.
We're we're mostly personal lines.
Mhm.
We're probably 90% personalized, 10% commercial. So we're, again, small agency, and we wrote right at a 90,000 business, which is a huge month. That's
Yeah.
probably close to normal, double our normal production.
Mhm.
Sometimes depends on how good a month we have, but starting out well this month again, and it's just it's a morale booster.
Mm.
I think, for everybody to really track where their leads are coming from,
Mhm.
and looking at our closing ratio, I never realized that our closing ratio was so high. And,
Oh, okay. So yeah,
um,
insight into.
yeah, it gives us more insights on, number one, where that business is coming from, and
Mhm.
also how, based on our markets, who's getting the business, and
Mm.
then
Mhm.
thirdly, is you know how how is our closing ratio, and
Mhm.
it's been, I mean, beyond my wildest expectations to see those numbers, as high as they are.
Yeah, just being
You
able to
know,
actually see them, in your face,
yes,
plain and simple.
yes.
Mhm.
So that makes a difference. It's when you see that closing ratio. It's one thing to implement a new business log where everybody puts in their production, but you really don't know what it takes to get that production to that point. Well, in InsuredMine, because you're inputting every customer or every prospect in that system, whether you win that system, whether you win that customer or you don't, you know what your efforts are, and if your efforts are paying off or not paying off, and then if they're not paying off, then you actually get to see, well, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
So, that's our biggest aha moment. Using that, and that's really has helped us to the greatest extent, I guess.
Yeah. Those efforts, I realized how useful they were too. Like when I started using InsuredMine, just the days fly by, and so you're like, well, where did they go? And then you can just look and see, like, well, you did these things and this and that. So I'm glad that you guys are using that feature as well.
Yes.
So I guess the next thing I would ask is just, since we are working with other agencies, especially in secure risk, what would you say to those agencies who are thinking about participating in the project, but maybe haven't pulled the trigger yet or are on the fence? What would you say to them?
Well, I would tell you, and I have another sister agency that's doing the same thing. They're mulling over the capabilities, and I said, you've got to get your feet wet. You got to get it up and operational, introduced to your agents, and get them motivated to use it. If you don't get your agents motivated to use it, they're not going to use it. It's new technology. A lot of agents, especially who've been around 30 plus years, have never seen this technology, and this is probably, some of the newest technology that's out there, and I would say that you just get your feet wet, go ahead, get it implemented in your agency. You won't be sorry. I will say that. I've always been growing up. I've always been more of a techie person. Like to look at new stuff, try things out, and everybody's not that way. But I like to see the results. And I'm not big on harping. If somebody doesn't make their goals 1 month or something like that. But it is a way to fully track your agency and what your agency is doing or not doing. So, get your feet wet. Make it work. One of the bigger pluses is once you get the API working, get the synchronization from your agency management system. That's when you're going to get the most benefit out of it, of course. So, and I know y'all are working on getting a lot of agencies where that will work and everything. And it's a process that just has to, go through. But it's a just a step-by-step process. And once that is implemented, it took off. It took off with our agency because we were able to sync. We were able to sync real time. I mean, there are a few other things that we're working through, a few challenges, but with any new product it's not a problem, but it's just a challenge to learn everything. That's the big thing with us, and having the time to sit down and learn everything. But you got new agents in your office, let them experiment with it, let them work and let them get it going for you. Because the younger guys in our office, I mean, that once they seen it, they said, "Oh man, we love it." We love it. And I think your newer, younger producers will appreciate it because rather than keeping all their contacts on a notepad and pencil and paper, they got it on their system. They can track it. Every time they open the computer or they open InsuredMine, look and see, who am I working on today?
Yeah. And you mentioned a couple times that, like, the morale booster, getting your agents motivated. What are some things, you mentioned the gift card for the, reaching the goals, but what are some things you've done to kind of get to rally the troops around, like you said, opening their computer and always logging into InsuredMine? How have you gone about motivating them?
Well, basically, I've just, I keep it in front of them, every day. I tell them, I says, hey, if we're going to make this work, you've got, it's just like part of any process with your agency management system. You've got to look at it on a daily basis to be able to fully engage and use it like you're supposed to. And I said, if we don't all use it the way it's intended to use, if we don't log every prospect, um, if we only log the prospects we win, we're not going to get a true close ratio.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of differences in that. So I've sort of put out there, I said, hey, I want you to put every person in there. Now, we have moved over to PO Raider, and we're now can export into HawkSoft, which is our agency management system. And from HawkSoft, we now immediately can sync that customer directly into InsuredMine without double entry, three double entries. So that in itself is a lot of time saver doing that.
Yeah.
Those are set up,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're cutting your work in half with that double entry and
just keeping it in front of them and asking, hey, but like I said, if you're a person that's not good with technology or don't want to learn the technology, the software is very customizable to where you set up your own pipelines, you customize them to how you want them to look, and then how your agents prefer them to work, and then from there, let them experiment with it. Give some administrative rights maybe to a younger producer who has more knowledge in your agency. I've got two very younger producers that help me with it, of course, and keep it running and updated and all that. So that's what I would recommend. If something, some people don't like technology, but you've got to use in today's society. You've got to use it to advance because with COVID, we're getting where we write most of our policies. I'd say 70% of the policies we write now are without ever seeing the insured after that. So you've got to use the technology to your advantage.
Yeah, especially during times like this. And that's super important. I know Roshan always says, our competition is not our direct competitors or Salesforce. It's, the pen and paper and the sticky notes and all of that, even, Excel sheets, and just getting away from that is really difficult. So,
Right.
But I do like your point of, bringing in the younger producers and we always, especially when we onboard people, we just say, go mess with it. You can't break it and we'll clean it up later.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess, lastly, just, what's one thing that you love most just about working with InsuredMine?
Firstly, y'all are very responsive. Roshan is, from the very first time that we met, probably was January, was a year ago in Savannah at one of our secure risk meetings. We were able to, we talked briefly, but he did his presentation then, and it was just very intriguing. Number one, about the software, because a lot of this stuff is brand new, especially when it integrates with the agency management system. But I mean, I guess just how y'all are with most carriers. If we're going to roll out a feature, it takes a minimum of 6 months. You're always tweaking it. You're always taking suggestions. You're always making additional API connections that are seemingly very helpful. And if I say, if your agency management system is not on there now, work with Roshan and he'll make it work. I'm sure. So, he's been, once we told him we were on HawkSoft, we were we were pretty close to one of the first ones being able to sync and work with y'all on getting HawkSoft working. But just the responsiveness, getting you guys to help us if we have any issues that,
Mhm.
and you're offering the daily seminars online, that helps tremendously, even though I don't take enough time to listen in,
That's okay.
all the time, which I need to. But we're going pretty well right now. There's a few things I want to tweak and try to get up and working like I want
Mhm.
it, but that'll come in time. I'm not worried
Yeah.
about that. So we'll work through it. We have another system that we had actually started. I won't mention their name, but
Mhm.
we're paying a sizable cost, a lot more than what we're paying for
Mhm.
InsuredMine. Uh, and it's a great system, but it does not have the sales pipeline. It does not have. It has a lot of some of the other capabilities that InsuredMine does, but it's double the cost of InsuredMine.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I know you guys are very flexible on. I know this.
Mhm.
If you don't like it, you don't have to. You're very flexible on cancellations, and I see it as well
Mhm.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
I think that in itself is by far the best. That you guys are making things work on the fly. If you see something that's not working right,
We
uh,
try- Yeah.
you're reaching out and letting us, and you're hearing us, and you're understanding what we need. And I
Yeah.
think I think that's probably by far the best.
Well, good. I'm glad that you guys are using us and finding us flexible and doing all of that. So I
Right.
really appreciate that. And yeah, I really appreciate you doing this interview too today. It'll be really beneficial, especially to let the other secure risk agents hear, from another what it's been like and before what your life was like and now and just the results you've seen and all of that. So
Right.
thank you for taking the time to do that with me today. Um, and I think that's the only questions I have. Anything on your side?
I can't think of anything. It will definitely help I think once you implement it, you get it rolling. It's going to take you a month or two to get it synced like you want it, and get it
Mhm.
up and rolling. But you got to invest some time and to get it going, and listen to some of the seminars. But once you do, I think you'll be very pleased with the outcome for most part.
Good. Yeah, I would. We see it all the time. Some people come in and start with us, and it does take a little bit, but we do try to provide all those resources. So we like the daily trainings are bite sized, so you can learn the system little bit by bit. So
Sure.
we work really hard to make sure that it's the adoption process is as smooth and as attainable as possible. So
Correct.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, thank you so much, Scott, for talking with me today.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I will talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Of course, bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.